Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 22nd of September 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover a map topic and also we are going to cover some topics for the prelims and mains exam. We also have few questions for practice. So let us start the discussion with the first topic. And before that, we are going to see some of the topics that we are going to include in today's discussion. Okay. So these are the list of topics that we are going to discuss. So let's start with the mapping topic. So the first topic is ECOWAS. Okay. So name of the topic is ECOWAS. So what is ECOWAS? ECOWAS stands for Economic Community of the West African States. Okay. So it is an economic community of the West African states. This particular name has been in news in the newspaper for a long time. I mean, why it has been news? Because recently in one of the African country there was a military coup. So through that military coup they have ousted the democratically elected leaders and they have taken into custody the president of that country. Name of that country is Niger. So Niger was in news, right? And since Niger has taken its president into custody, I mean, like the military people have taken the president into custody. So that's why many countries over here, like they have a grouping which is Economic Community of the West African States. So this particular grouping is, let's say, an economic grouping. So they have, let's say, shared interest, right, in the West African states. They have shared interest in the West African states. And this particular grouping has warned Niger that you should, let's say, like, leave the president, you should, let's say, bring the president out of detention and you should, let's say, like, reestablish the democratically elected government there. So for that reason, the ECOWAS was in news. So that's why we need to understand about the nature of this particular grouping. So it is an economic grouping. They have a shared interest of, let's say, developing the member countries economically, and also they want to establish a kind of common market. Okay, and they want to have political stability among the member countries here in this particular region. So we need to understand two things in this perspective. What are the things? The first thing that we need to understand is the Niger. I mean, like, Niger, where is Niger located? So this is the location of Niger. So I have just underlined this thing. So this is Niger, and let's say there are many countries that surround Niger. So one thing is we need to remember the name of those countries that, let's say, like surround Niger, with which Niger shares border. So what are those countries? One of the countries, Mali. We can see this is one of the country, Mali. Second country here is Burkina Faso. Okay, so Burkina Faso is also a country. Third country is Benin. Okay, this is the third country. So this is where Benin is located. Then we have four, after Benin we have Nigeria. Okay, this is the fourth country, Nigeria. So this country over here is Nigeria. Togo is over here. Togo is not there. Okay, so Nigeria. After then Chad. Okay, this is the fifth country. Then we have Libya also. This is sixth country. Libya was recently in news. Okay, Libya was in news because of multiple factors. Okay, in Libya also I think there was a kind of cyclonic activity, right? So that's why it is in news. Then we have Algeria. Algeria is the seventh country. So in all we see, like, 7 countries are there that border Niger. So at least we should remember the number of countries that border Niger. Maybe in the prelims exam they will ask a question and they can say that, like, 7 countries border Niger or 5 countries border Niger. At least we should remember that there are 7 countries that border Niger. Okay, that number is important. And also try to remember the name of the countries. Have an atlas for yourself and, like, in the atlas try to locate those countries and mention the name of the countries. So this is one part of the exercise. The second part of the exercise, we need to understand about the name of member countries of ECOWAS region. At least how many countries are there in the ECOWAS region? This is also important because, like, I can also make a shared question, like, a question where I can ask about number of countries that border Niger and number of countries that are member of ECOWAS. So ECOWAS has 15 member countries, okay, 15 member countries. So like I have verified this information from the website of ECOWAS. I have went to the website and I have seen, like, you know, in the bottom portion of the website, they have mentioned the name of all these countries in this fashion itself. So ECOWAS consists of 15 member states in West Africa, and these are Benin. So this is Benin we have seen. Then Burkina Faso is another country here. Okay, so like I'm going to, so Burkina Faso is there, Benin is there. Then we have Cape Verde. Okay, Cape Verde is a country. Where is that? So here this is Cape Verde. So this is an island nation. Okay. Then we have Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, Ivory Coast. Try to locate where is Ivory Coast located. This is where we see. Okay, Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire. Right. So this is the fourth country. Then we have the Gambia. So where is Gambia located? See, this is Gambia, okay, on the left side of Burkina Faso. This is fifth country. Then we have Ghana. Ghana is one of the countries. So Ghana is there, let's say, like, you know, in the over here. This is Ghana. This is where Ghana, okay. So it is nearby Gulf of Guinea, okay. Then we have Guinea, okay. So where is Guinea? Guinea is here. Very small country. To the left side over here we see this is Guinea. They have mentioned. Okay, Guinea is just above equator. Then we have Guinea-Bissau. Okay, so Guinea-Bissau, where is there? So it is there. This is here. Guinea-Bissau is there. Then we have Liberia. So where is Liberia? Liberia. Try to locate the name of the country. Liberia over here, West African country. Okay, so like, you know, it will be here in this region. Okay, Liberia. So we will locate Liberia here. Okay, yes, this is Liberia, just like bordering with Cote d'Ivoire. Then we have Mali. This is Mali. Mali shares border with Niger. Then we have Niger. Niger is also a member of ECOWAS. So this is a very important information. Okay, so Niger is a member of ECOWAS. Okay, so this is one of the most important information, I would say. Then we have Nigeria. So where is Nigeria located? Below Niger. Okay, just a minute. Okay, this is Togo, Nigeria, right? This is Nigeria. Then we have Senegal. Senegal as a country. Senegal. We need to locate Senegal also. Mauritania. Okay. So nearby Mauritania, Senegal. This is Senegal. Okay. Then we have Sierra Leone and Togo. Togo is here. This is Togo. Then we have Sierra Leone. Where is Sierra Leone located? Okay. Below Guinea-Bissau. We have this is Guinea-Bissau. Yes, Sierra Leone. This is the thing. Now, what are the observation after seeing all these 15 countries? Right, so we will write down those observations now quickly. Okay, observation from the mapping of what? ECOWAS. Okay, first observation. This is very important observation. Niger is a member of ECOWAS. Okay, Niger is a member of ECOWAS. Second thing, it has 15 members in all, right? Third thing, seven countries what? Border Niger. Okay, border Niger. That's the thing. Fourth observation, all the countries, right? All the countries lie above equator. All the countries of ECOWAS, okay, all the countries here you can write down of ECOWAS lie above equator, because like we have located none of the country lies below equator. Okay, so all of the country are lying above equator, means like all are northern hemisphere countries. Okay, so these are some of the observations that we have made after going through the map of ECOWAS. So these observations are very important. Okay, if possible, write down these observations. And yeah, majority of them have coastal border, definitely. And also out of ECOWAS, you can also have an observation after looking into the map that how many of these countries are, let's say, like, having coastal boundaries, or how many of these countries are landlocked countries. Okay, so that will be another level of observation, and that's going to help us. Okay, that's going to help us to solve a question in the prelims exam. So this like mapping, I would say, is one of the most important mapping that we have done so far. Okay, because this has been in news. Now apart from this, like we came to the first topic, we are going to discuss our topic with reference to the prelims exam. Okay, this is important for the prelims point of view. So it is part of art and culture. So this topic was there in the Hindu newspaper today. So they have discussed that CM Chouhan unveils a statue of oneness in Omkareshwar. Okay, so now we need to understand that the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, he has unveiled this particular statue. Okay, this particular statue in a place which is like in Omkareshwar in Khandwa district in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, this location is important. Omkareshwar keyword is important. Okay, keyword, this keyword is important. It's a location in Madhya Pradesh, in Khandwa district in Madhya Pradesh. Apart from this, this statue, which is known as a statue of oneness, like we also already have a statue of unity. Where it is located? Gujarat. Okay, see the location of a statue of unity. See, let's say, like, whether it falls in the equator or not, like that. Okay, see that way. And this is also important. Apart from this, this particular statue of unity is the statue of a person who is very important. His name is Guru Shankaracharya. Okay, so this statue belongs to Guru Shankaracharya. Why Guru Shankaracharya is important? Because Guru Shankaracharya has given a philosophy. That philosophy is known as Advaita Vedanta. Okay, so we are going to write some important information over here, which is going to be important for the prelims exam. Okay, so I am just writing Advaita Vedanta. So who is the, let's say, like, philosopher who has propounded, who has given the Advaita Vedanta? His name is Guru Adi Shankaracharya. Okay, this name is important. He is associated with Advaita Vedanta philosophy. So this Advaita Vedanta, so like we have understood this particular thing, and then we have seen a statue of what? Oneness. A statue of oneness is the English translation of it, and there is a Hindi translation also they have given. It is known as Ekatma ki Murti. Okay, Ekatmata ki Murti, I think. Ekatmata. Ekatmata ki Murti. Okay, Ekatmata ki Murti. Now, this is important. And also, where is it located? In Omkareshwar. Okay, Omkareshwar. Where is it located? It is in Madhya Pradesh district. Madhya Pradesh. Okay, MP. These are, let's say, factual information from this topic. Apart from this, we need to understand what do we mean by Advaita Vedanta. So Advaita Vedanta, then we have, let's say, like, like Visist Advaita Vedanta. Then we have, let's say, like, Dvaita. Okay, so Advaita means, like, this is known as Advaita Vedanta in English term is known as this belongs to the Vedanta school of philosophy. Okay, this belongs to Vedanta school of philosophy. So let us understand about these schools of philosophy, at least names quickly. So in India, we have, let's say, 6 orthodox schools of philosophy. Okay, 6 orthodox schools of philosophy. One of the school is known as Nyaya school of philosophy. Second is known as what? Let's say Mimamsa school of philosophy. Third is known as Sankhya school of philosophy. Sankhya. Then fourth is known as, last one is known as Vedanta. Fifth and sixth, last is known as Vedanta. So Nyaya, Sankhya, Mimamsa. Then there are 2 more schools of philosophy. Yeah, means it sometimes becomes difficult, but anyone who can write down here, online people who are attending, Nyaya, Mimamsa, Sankhya, Vedanta. There are 2 more schools of philosophy, so they are part of orthodox schools of philosophy. And in Vedanta school of philosophy, we have, let's say, this is also known as principle of non-dualism and dualism. So this school of philosophy has been, let's say, it is the last school of philosophy among orthodox schools of philosophies. So here they have mentioned about, let's say, principle of non-dualism, which is known as Advaita. Okay, Advaita school of philosophy. Then we have, let's say, Advaita. Then we have this Visist Advaita. Yes, yoga is one of the school. Vishashika. Yes. So these are the things. Advaita. Then there is Vishist Advaita. And then there is Dvaita, principle of non-dualism. Then principle of qualified non-dualism. Then there is, let's say, principle of dualism. So these school of philosophies like Advaita, Dvaita, they are part of Vedanta school of philosophy. They are part of Vedanta school of philosophy. So it is related to orthodox schools of philosophy. So that's why we need to remember these also, and we need to understand who have founded these schools of philosophies, their names as well. So that will be important for the prelims exam. Okay, name of founders of these schools of philosophy. Okay, and also meaning of these schools of philosophy, means what these schools of philosophy stands for. So that will be important. Okay, that will be important. Right. So with this, we will move to the next topic. It is important for the prelims exam. Okay. So we'll move to the next topic. So this topic is important. Thank you so much, Prajwal, for writing. So he has joined. Now it says propelling India's development the right way. Okay, propelling India's development the right way. So this topic, which is, let's say, so I'm writing the name of the topic. Here they have said propelling India's development the right way. Although in this article the author has written so many points, however, he has tried to connect Indian economy with science and technology. How he has connected Indian economy with science and technology? First of all, he has said that when India became independent, right, at that point of time, India has, let's say, inherited a kind of economy which was in turmoil. At that point of time, we had a huge population to support, most of the population were below poverty line. So most of the people were below poverty line. And since most of the people were below poverty line, so the first focus of Indian government should have been to eradicate poverty. And so that's why we have adopted the planning commissions. Okay, so planning commission has given, let's say, 5-year plans, first 5-year plan, second 5-year plan, third 5-year plan. So the 5-year plans that have been given by the planning commission. So these 5-year plans focused on the most important and urgent need. Initially, they focused on eradicating poverty, right? Then they focused on industrialization. So these were with reference to what Indian economy requires. But parallelly at that point of time, right, along with, let's say, like, going for planned economy, right, along with going for planned economy, we have also focused on building science and technology. We have focused on building science and technology. Why we have focused on this? Because we believed that science and technology has the, let's say, added advantage of bringing the economy to prosperous route at a very faster pace. However, at that point of time, many people had questioned the wisdom of India, that you should first look forward to reduce the poverty in the economy, not look forward to having space missions. But Indian space mission, right, if I talk about Indian space programs, right, so Indian space programs were started by Vikram Sarabhai, okay, Vikram Sarabhai. So initially, Vikram Sarabhai in 1962, he has started a committee, okay, committee for like Indian space programs. Later on, in 1969, in 1967, I think, 67 or 69, they have established Indian Space Research Organization, okay. They have established Indian Space Research Organization. After establishment of Indian Space Research Organization, Vikram Sarabhai had, let's say, passed away because of heart stroke, I think, right? And after he passed away, so like we did not have someone who could head the Indian Space Research Organization. At that point of time, the Prime Minister of India, right, Miss Indira Gandhi, she has written a letter to Mr. Satish Dhawan. Mr. Satish Dhawan was at that point of time was the head of, let's say, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. But he was not staying in India at that point of time. He was in USA for doing some research. So Prime Minister of India has written an urgent letter to him and asking him to, let's say, show his willingness, like whether he is willing to take over as chairman of Indian Space Research Organization. Then he was called to India and he has assumed, right, the chairmanship of ISRO. So came Mr. Satish Dhawan, okay, Satish Dhawan, and like we have Satish Dhawan Space Center, right, in Bengaluru, right, in Sriharikota. So that's the thing. Now, so space science, which was started just a decade, like after India got independence, just a decade or so, like it has been functioning since then, and it has now, it's very soon that now what has happened, India became the first country in the world to have landed a moon mission on the south pole of the moon, okay, moon mission on the south pole of the moon, and this mission is known as Chandrayaan 3. However, the success of Chandrayaan 3 was not once in a while. Initially, we have seen some failures also, right? During the first few stages, we have seen some failures, and for launching our satellite, initially we had taken the help of Russia as well, because that time we did not have our own launch vehicles. But now slowly and gradually, India has emerged to be one of the topmost spacefaring nations. All because that India has ventured into the space technology at that point of time. So the author says that we have ventured into the space technology at that point of time because we believe that Indians had the capability of doing research and development. And India is an aspiring economy, and one day they are going to make remarkable progress in this sector. Now the author is saying that similar to this space sector, we can have progress in many sectors in Indian economy. However, to bring progress, to take India into the path of prosperity, what we need to do, we need to have, let's say, planning for India in such a manner that, like, we take, let's say, robust planning. Robust planning means, although the, let's say, 5-year plans have been abolished, okay, 5-year plans have been discontinued. I mean, like, we had up to 12 5-year plans, right? 12 5-year plans we had. However, this particular thing has been discontinued. But the author is saying that, like, Indian economy can also progress the way that the space sector of Indian economy has progressed. And for that, we need to take robust steps. We need to take unparalleled steps. We need to take those steps that India has been, let's say, like, thinking whether to take it or not. Now we need to move boldly and we need to take reforms in Indian economy. So the author has suggested many things related to this, okay? Like in this article, the author has suggested many things that, like, this is what we need to do. So its author said that giving India's masses the social and human capabilities required for upward mobility will be equivalent of a lunar takeoff in economic progress. So we need to, let's say, educate Indian people. We need to skill them so that, like, they become capable enough to take off Indian economy in a manner that, like, we have taken off the Chandrayaan 3 mission. So the author has compared both the things, and this comparison is very good, okay? So with this, we will now see a question. We need to answer this question. It says, what strategies can be employed to improve the quality of education and skill development to meet the demands of the growing economy? Okay, so what strategies can be employed? Simple question. You need to give an answer to this question in 150 words. Okay, so once you write an answer, you can share it with me at Jahidul@lukmaanias.com. You can share your answer with me on this email address. Then I'm going to, let's say, review this answer. And now let us move to another topic. This topic is again related to Indian economy. It is part of GS paper 3, okay, GS paper 3. So in this article, the author has talked about, let's say, tackling India's growth trajectory, okay, tackling India's growth trajectory. So let us quickly write down name of the topic, then we'll understand about this topic. Tackling India's growth trajectory. So in this article, the author has talked about the, let's say, latest report. That particular report has been released by National Statistical Office. Okay, so a report was released by NSO, National Statistical Office, and this report talks about the growth of Indian economy in the first quarter. Okay, so, like, what happens, like, in a year, in a financial year, to be, like, in a financial year, if we talk about a financial year, so in a financial year, how many quarters do we have? 4 quarters. Okay, so we have quarter 1, we have quarter 2, we have quarter 3, and we have quarter 4. So quarter 1 is from April to June. This is quarter 1. Quarter 2, September. Quarter 3, October to December. Quarter 4, January to March. So recently, the National Statistical Office, NSO, has released, let's say, like, growth rate, okay, growth rate of quarter 1 of the ongoing financial year. And according to that particular growth rate, India has grown by, like, GDP of India has grown by what? 8%. Okay, nominal GDP has grown by 8%. Then the author said, like, there is one more calculation according to which it has grown by 7.8%. So in this article, the Q1 data covering the GDP growth rate from April to June of financial year 2024. Okay, so financial year of 2024 boasts of a nominal growth rate of 8% and real growth rate of 7.8%. So the government's tax revenue from direct taxes has weakened over the previous quarter, while the indirect tax revenue remained strong, indicating a K-shaped pattern. Okay, so here in this article they have said that nominal GDP, okay, so like so they have said that like nominal GDP has grown by 8%. Real GDP has grown by 7.8% in Q1. And this showcases that India is growing at a very fast pace. And in this article, the author has said that the share of, let's say, government is receiving those things from different kind of taxation, okay, taxation sources. One of the taxation is indirect taxes, okay, indirect taxes. So it says indirect taxes has been strong, but if I talk about direct taxes, right, direct taxes, it has been weak. I mean, receivable from direct taxes has been weak. And this has been because of multiple factors in the Indian economy. Okay, so there are uncertainties in the, let's say, various sectors in Indian economy that are associated with, let's say, troubles in the international market. Okay, also in this article, the author has said that since Indian economy is growing, so we need to further think of consolidating this particular thing. How we can consolidate? For that, the author has said that government of India can consolidate these things by boosting exports. Okay, what we can do, we need to boost exports. Okay, as of now, exports have weakened over a period of time, so we need to boost the exports. That can be one thing that we can do. Apart from this, let's say now what is happening means data is coming, so it is saying that people are spending less, people are saving less. Why people are saving less? Recently the finance minister of India has said that it is because the preference of people has changed. Now people are saving less and they are buying luxurious goods. Okay, when they are buying luxury items, so they are spending the money over there. So the thing is we can have, let's say, a demand driven growth, consumption driven growth. And how consumption driven growth can be achieved? By doing more government spending. Okay, by doing more government spending. If government spends, right, so people will be having money in their hand and they are going to spend, so it is going to, let's say, bring a kind of growth in Indian economy. But the thing is there lies a kind of concern related to Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. Okay, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. So this particular Budget Management Act. So in this article they have said that if government increases its spending, so it's going to deviate from its fiscal responsibility, and government, if it stays within this particular thing, so it is going to bring down the growth rate in the Indian economy. So these are the things that has been highlighted in this article. Why these articles are important? The more you read these articles, the more you comprehend, you will be able to understand the relation between different factors in the Indian economy. Means what factor leads to what. So these relations will help you to solve questions in the prelims exam. Okay, so those kind of relation building is important. So in this article they have said direct and personal taxes should be, okay, so they have said direct and personal taxes should, in the absence of any significant policy changes, have grown closer to the nominal growth rate than has currently. Narrowing revenue streams indicate forced austerity measures as the government intends to control the budget deficit and hence the interest rate. Okay, So when the government is controlling the budget deficit, so it is known as austerity measures. And when they adopt austerity measures, so revenue streams, revenue streams also squeeze for the government. Okay, so these are the things that have been mentioned in this article. This article is good. You need to read it once more to understand about relation between various factors in the economy. Yes. Consumer expenditure.
You are talking that savings are not and consumer spending more as compared to previous. So
it is not bad. See, both the things has positive aspect and negative aspect. For example, if we spend more, it is good for the economy. Why? Because if we spend more, we are, let's say, sharing our money in the economy. People who is selling the goods, so they are getting benefited. So they are again buying something. So it increases the activity in the economy. This is good for the economy. However, the economy also needs to save certain portion of the income that we do. Because if we save more, so we will be able to invest in building some kind of long-term assets. For example, as a household, if I have a habit of saving money, every month if I am saving, so after some time I may wish to purchase let's say land, or I may construct a land. So I will be creating a capital asset for myself. Okay, I'll be creating an asset for myself. So that is good for the economy, because it talks about the long-term consumer behavior. And if I just keep on spending, so those capital assets will not be created much. Okay, so asset creation is also an activity.
so you mean savings
Both the things are important. Means whatever earning we have, so from the earning we need to spend. Spend is important. We need to pay taxes. That's also important for the government. And then we need to save. That's also important, because saving generally has relation with, let's say, long-term asset creation. Long-term asset creation leads to, let's say, prosperity in the economy. So these factors are important. Okay, so a person who is just earning and saving, so he is also not good for the economy, because economic activity has to increase. That's the thing. So now we have another question, another topic. So now let us see this question. Consider the following number one statement: sales taxes, depreciation, net foreign factor income, net exports. How many of the above are used for income accounting method, okay, to calculate GDP? So how many of them are used for income accounting method? In which one? Sales tax. How about depreciation? How about net foreign factor income? Net foreign factor income. The net exports. Income accounting method to calculate GDP. Income accounting method. Okay, to calculate gross domestic product. So in this question, they have written the answer little different. They have said all the first three are important, means GDP, national income, sales tax, depreciation, net foreign factor income, right? So we need to look into that part. Okay, so I'll look into this. Basically, they have talked about this income accounting method to calculate GDP. There are different methods. One is income, expenditure, then the other one also. We need to look into it. Maybe, so I'll look into this at a later point. I'll write down there, okay, maybe in the description. Someone has written 1 and 4. Fourth is not there, but second and third, you have applied good logic. So we'll see this thing. Now we have another topic. It says, how will Biden impeachment hearing impact elections? Okay, so this topic is important. Why? Because this is related to impeachment of a president. And then impeachment happens in India also. I mean, the president of India can be impeached, the, let's say or judges of the High Court, they can be impeached. I mean, like, if they have to be removed from the office, there has to be an impeachment motion. So there are, let's say, various factors, like, various constitutional measures for effecting that particular impeachment. But in this article, what they have mentioned, it is related to entirely United States of America. And to understand this article, we need to understand this particular factor. Which factor? That, like, we need to talk about. So we are discussing about impeachment of a US president, okay, of a president in the United States of America. So here we will discuss about, let's say, what are different. So this is a very political thing, okay. So let's discuss about political parties in USA, okay, political parties in United States of America. There are two major political parties. One is known as Republican Party, and another party is known as what? Democratic Party. This Democratic Party. So let's understand, like, who are the people who come from which party. So we have heard about Barack Obama, okay, Barack Obama. So he comes from Democratic Party. If we talk about Joe Biden, he comes from Democratic Party. If we talk about Donald Trump, he comes from Republican Party. So the thing is, like, why I have mentioned these, because they talk about the policies, okay. So, like, this Democratic Party in the United States of America, basically, so they have, let's say, centrist or leftist ideology. Yeah. So they talk more about welfare schemes, welfare measures for various sections of the society. And this Republican Party, it's a kind of, let's say, like, yeah. So they are towards capitalism, okay, capitalist party. So these are the two parties that are functioning. Basically, so far, few presidents of America have been impeached. Donald Trump has been impeached 2 times during his presidency. So the thing is, now Republican Party is trying to impeach Mr. Joe Biden, okay, they are trying to impeach Mr. Joe Biden. Why they want to impeach Mr. Joe Biden? Because of political reasons. And the issue is, like, so Joe Biden's son, his name is Hunter Biden, okay. He is a businessman. So there has been allegation that Joe Biden has attended phone calls of people who were business partners of Hunter Biden. And that phone call has influenced those people in taking decisions, because Joe Biden is the president and then he was the vice president. So these are some of the reasons. And Hunter Biden is a chair of our, let's say, power plant in Ukraine, okay, of a power plant in Ukraine. So that is also associated, okay. So Ukrainian thing is also related. So now in this article they have not mentioned about the procedure that they follow. They have mentioned, like, what are the factors for which the impeachment is happening in USA. So they have mentioned that, like, this, I mean, like, in USA, so Mr. Joe Biden may be impeached very soon, but the thing is that impeachment may not lead to, let's say, his coming out of the office. That's the thing, okay. So Donald Trump has been impeached 2 times, and so far in this article they have mentioned about name of various presidents who have been impeached. So their name is also important, okay. So let us quickly see name of those people. So name of those presidents are, I'm going to write it here quickly, okay, so that, like, we have at least a general understanding of it, okay. Name of those presidents who have been impeached, okay, presidents US presidents who have been so they have written the name. I'm going to write down. So it is Andrew Johnson, number 1 was Andrew Johnson in 1868. Then we have Richard Nixon, 1974. Richard Nixon, 1974. He has been impeached. Then we have Bill Clinton in 1998. Bill Clinton, 1998. Then we have the fourth person, his recently Mr. Donald Trump. He has been impeached 2 times. He has been impeached in, let's say, 2 times. So these are the people who have been impeached so far. So Mr. Biden will be the 5th president to be impeached. Okay. So 4 presidents of USA have been impeached so far. Okay. These are the people. If Joe Biden is impeached, he will become the 5th person. Okay. So that is what is mentioned. So this is just for general understanding of the US government and all. Okay. So in India, we do follow a procedure to impeach the president. For that, there has to be resolution adopted, and they have to establish the fact in the House of the Parliament that for this reason there should be an inquiry committee. First inquiry committee has to submit its report, then there will be impeachment motion, and for that we need a special majority. Yeah, in both the houses of the Parliament. Okay, so that's the thing. So now we have another topic. This topic has been in news. Okay. So this topic talks about reservation for women, like for women in the Parliament and state legislative assemblies. So they have talked about that women's quota bill cleared in Rajya Sabha as all members vote in support. So earlier in the Lok Sabha it has been passed. Now in the Rajya Sabha, they have passed. So this is Constitution 128th Amendment Bill or Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. Okay. Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, and it's 6 clauses with, so they have just mentioned that it has been passed in Rajya Sabha also. It has been passed in Lok Sabha, it has been passed in Rajya Sabha. Now it will go to the President of India, and once he ratifies this particular thing, then it becomes an act, and after then people will receive what? Right. But the thing is, in this bill, in the present form, they have not included OBCs, and the present government wants to conduct a socio-economic, and so they want to conduct a, let's say, they want to constitute a delimitation commission, and then they want to constitute a census, then they want to implement this thing. But the the Congress party is saying you should implement it right away. Okay, this is the thing. So with this, we have another topic. Okay, we have another topic. It says China, USA, India absent at UN Climate Ambition Summit. Okay, so a Climate Ambition Summit has been recently concluded in the United Nations. This is known as Climate Ambition Summit. So in this summit, all the member states of United Nations organization have been invited, right? So those countries who have signed what? They have signed this Paris Agreement. So as part of Paris Agreement, every member country shares its intended nationally determined contributions, okay, INDCs. But the thing is, what has happened in this case, right? What has happened? Here, India did not participate, China did not participate, and USA did not participate. So these 3 countries, China is the number 1 polluter in the world. Then USA is the number 2 polluter. India is the number 3 polluter, right? Of the environment. We release greenhouse gases. So these topmost countries have not participated. So they contribute to 42% of global greenhouse gas emissions. They were not present. Other members were present. So these countries will have to, let's say, take more ambitious targets for themselves to achieve the climate justice, to achieve the targets that we have set for ourselves in the Paris Agreement. Okay. So in this article, they have talked about that, this particular Climate Ambition Summit was hosted by the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. And he has earlier talked about that global boiling is happening now. Okay. Earlier we were talking about global warming, but now we are talking about global boiling. Okay. So in this article, they have mentioned that these 3 countries did not participate. However, only representatives from 34 states and 7 institutions were given the floor on the day of the summit. Means like, from 34 countries and 7 institutions, they, let's say, participated in this summit. Okay. So this is what they have mentioned in this article. Climate Ambition Summit is related to United Nations Organization. Now we have another topic. This question is good. It says consider the following statements. Okay. Number 1, it says Climate Ambition Summit was held in New York as part of the United Nations General Assembly. This is right. Okay. So United Nations Organization is located, its building is in New York. Okay. In USA. Then it says China, United States and India, who collectively account for 42% of the global greenhouse gas emission, were absent from the summit. Both these statements are right. Okay. So both these statements are right. So this is just, I mean, like, to check the understanding of the article. Okay. So both these statements are right. Explanation is given here. So we have another topic. We'll quickly see this topic. It says silent killer. Okay. Name of the topic is silent killer. So in this article, they have talked about a report which has been released by the World Health Organization. So the World Health Organization, WHO, has recently released a report, and that report is related to hypertension. Okay. It is related to hypertension. Hypertension means when we have increased blood pressure, okay, increased BP. So when we have high blood pressure, high BP, so that leads to hypertension. And hypertension is a cause of death. It is one of the major cause of death among many people in different countries of the world. So the report that has been released by the World Health Organization, it says that globally hypertension affects 1 in 3 individuals, means out of every 3 individuals, means like 1 person, let's say, gets affected by hypertension. So 1/3 of the people are affected. 33% of the people are affected because of hypertension globally. And they say 4 out of the 5 do not have adequately controlled. Okay. So like 4 people out of 5, they do not have adequate control on hypertension. Only 1 person has adequate control of it. So it says like 80% of people do not have control on hypertension. So this report has been released by World Health Organization. So in this article, they have talked about the importance of, let's say, like, generating awareness about hypertension among people. If people know about hypertension, they will be able to, let's say, like, take measures to reduce hypertension. Okay. So it says in this article, they say like most of the people are unaware that they are affected by hypertension. So they have talked about, I mean, like, many hypertension related diseases. So it says that, like, around of them, the condition has been diagnosed only in 37. So those people who have, let's say, like, who know that they have hypertension, who got themselves checked, only 37% of people have been diagnosed, and out of them only 30% have received treatment, and 15% people have their hypertension under control. Means out of all those people who have hypertension, 33%, out of those 33% population, 37% got diagnosed. And out of those 37%, right, further 30% of people, right, got treatment. And out of them, 15% have control on hypertension. So they, in this article, they have talked about that hypertension is also associated with salt intake. If we intake more salt, right, so like, if we take more salt, so that leads to hypertension related thing. So there should be awareness among people that, like, we should not consume more than 15 or, like, few grams of this particular thing, what, salt per day. Okay. So they have talked about, so in the global burden of diseases report 2019, heart attack was leading cause of death and disability in India. Okay. So India Hypertension Control Initiative. In India, we have an initiative also, Hypertension Control Initiative. And in this article, they have talked about that, like, we should reduce the salt intake. Okay. I think they have mentioned about few grams, 1.5 gram or 15 gram of, Like we should not take salt more than that in a day. Otherwise, it will lead to hypertension related things. Okay. So this is the thing. Then we have another topic. This topic is related to Chandrayaan 3. So it says Vikram and Pragyan. Okay. So they may be started again. So like this topic is related to Chandrayaan 3 mission. So Chandrayaan 3 has been launched by ISRO. It has successfully achieved the mission objective. It has been made to launch, land on the south pole of the moon. Okay. So this is the south pole of the moon. So this is where it has landed. So the thing is like it has a let's say lander module. It has a lander module, and that is known as Vikram lander. Okay. That is known as Vikram lander, Vikram. Then it has a rover module, that is known as Pragyan. Okay. It is known as Pragyan. So lander module has landed. From the lander module came out Pragyan. And the thing is like, so they have accomplished the mission, and that mission was active for one sidereal day. Okay. One sidereal day means like one lunar day, which was equal to 14 Earth days. So during that time it was functional. Then like let's say like it was about to be night on moon. So that's why we have turned off. Okay, we had turned off the lander and rover. But today ISRO might have turned on the lander and rover again. They have tried. Okay, so if it becomes successful, so it is going to give additional data. Otherwise the mission objectives has been accomplished so far. Okay, so they had turned off because it was about to be let's say like night time. So for 14 days the temperature goes extremely down. So the temperature over there goes to minus 200 degrees centigrade during night time. So at that point of time all the charge will get, let's say like discharged. So that's why they have turned off the system. Now in this article they have said that on Friday ISRO may try to turn on the system again. So I don't know the real data now. So we need to check. Okay, so this is related to that. Then this is the last topic of the day. It says TRAI outlines broadcast policy. TRAI stands for Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. TRAI stands for Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Okay. So Telecom Regulatory Authority of India regulates the telecom sector in the country. So they have recently, let's say, released a draft, what we say, broadcast policy. So details of national broadcasting policy emerged on Thursday as Telecom Regulatory Authority of India consulted stakeholders on the shape of such a policy should take. Okay. So in this article, they have just mentioned about it. They have not mentioned what is the content of the, let's say, like, broadcasting policy. So broadcasting, let's say, it is going to affect Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, etc. OTT platforms, content OTT platforms can be affected through this particular policy. So maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, some detailed article will come on this topic. So today they have just mentioned. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.